Welcome to another edition of the Culture Show right here on IBP Media. I am your host, Kulu, and in the building today, we're going to talk about a real touchy subject about why I do not watch slave movies anymore. Why I refuse to watch slave movies anymore. Now let's get into the number one reason why I believe slave movies are detrimental to the mental health of Black Americans and Blacks all around the world. First of all, it's allowing you to think that you're inferior to white people and any other race around the world. If you really think about it and take the time, how many times do these slave movies come around? They come around at least once, maybe every 2-3 years, and they're continuing to show how you are dominated in America by white people. This makes you think that everything you do, you've been dominated. So this does not let you get to the next level. This is why I refuse to watch any more slave movies. It just creates anger in your heart. It makes you hate people. And as a person that's a spiritual person, I can't live my life hating people. You don't need to look at people of today and hate what their ancestors may have done because it wasn't them. You can judge a person based off what they do to you, not based off what their distant ancestors did to your ancestors, possibly. They may be completely different people. The education has changed. And that's another reason why I do not watch or support slave movies. Number three reason why I don't support it is because it's coming from a white supremacist organization trying to again force feed this narrative that Blacks are inferior to whites. So instead of funding film companies like this, I've decided to shun them. I've decided to stop supporting stuff like that because we know it happened. We know the transatlantic slave trade happened. But we don't need to keep feeding it into our minds and making these people richer by continuing to put money in their pockets by supporting these type of films. Number 4, what it does to the African diaspora. It allows the diaspora to continue to be divided. African Americans around the world are being looked at as slave people. Now, is that fair? Is it right? Absolutely not. But why? Because these films have been spread throughout the entire world. And the world sees this. The children in Nigeria see it. The children in Jamaica see it. The children in South America, the Blacks in Australia, the Blacks in India. The Blacks all over the world are seeing what happened to Black Americans. It also affects what other people and other races think of you as well. I personally think it's time for Blacks to show more of their great history instead of showing transatlantic struggle. We've seen so much of it. Now, some may say, well, Kulu, we want to be careful that we don't act like it didn't happen. I'm not saying act like transatlantic slave trade didn't happen, because we know it happened. We know it's a historical fact. But it's just like Wendy's, McDonald's, or Burger King. If they keep force feeding you this juicy looking hamburger, force feeding that to your mind, eventually you get yourself to the point where it's like, well, maybe this isn't so bad after all. And you may try it, you may eat it, and you may become addicted to it. So be very careful what you put in your mind. As I become more and more enlightened, I've been much more conscious about the things that I watch, about the things that I support. Even certain rap music, I no longer support it. You know, I used to go to the clubs and I used to just watch women, sisters, Black women, repeating these words, not realizing that these brothers that you're imitating or singing their song, they're talking about you. So this is something to really think about when we put things into our mind. What is it making us think about ourselves? There's an old saying, what you think of yourself depends on what you do for yourself. What you do for yourself depends on what you know for yourself. And what you know for yourself depends on what you've been told. So the question is, what are you being told about yourself? We have to be very careful on what we accept as being told about ourselves. Are you going to continue to be told that you are nothing but a slave and you contributed nothing to history? Or are you going to allow yourself to remove that mentality from your mind and start to dig into the great African history that blacks all around the world were the first people to circumnavigate the globe before any European? That is all today for the Culture Show with Kulu, and I am signing off. Shout out to the whole IBP media family. Shout out to everybody out there that supports our channel. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this on why you should never support slave movies. This is Kulu signing off. One love.